Welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 2 of the Draft Day Spectacular. Going down the line here. Minnesota Timberwolves didn't expect to really be making a video on them, but they made a big draft day trade to one of the bigger name prospects in the draft in Rob Dillingham, getting him in exchange for a 2031 first-round pick and a pick swap in 2030 with the Spurs. Interesting. Did not see this coming. I don't think anyone really did, but I'm excited to see Rob on the Wolves. I think it's a good fit. We'll get more into it, but what were your thoughts on the trade watching it?
I mean, off the top of my head, you got a Rob Big Jelly unit, one of the greatest AAU teams ever assembled, one of the greatest NBA AAU teams ever assembled, also an AAU legend. I think it's just going to be fun basketball to watch. He's a fun guy to watch. I'm a little bit worried he's undersized and he's a lightweight, but I think, his game could translate given some time.
Yeah, no. I mean, I honestly think it's a really smart move for the Wolves because Conley's getting up there. He has 2 more years on his deal. So you have that to worry about long term. Then you go and you have a Rob Dillingham who will be in year 3 at that point to kind of take over that starting point guard spot from Conley, or even it could be sooner. You never know. But this is a guy that we know is going to put the ball in the hole. There's going to be games where he'll randomly drop a 25 piece coming off that bench, and there'll be games where he shoots 0 for 10. And that's just how it's going to go with him. And that's what happens when you have a young, undersized guard. Think of guys like Darius Garland, who came out of the draft, who now look really, really good. But initially, Darius Garland was the worst player in the NBA, statistically, efficiency-wise. Like, we could see that from Rob, but I think long-term, he's going to be able to develop. He'll get a little bit bigger, get his NBA body more so ready than it is right now, sitting at only around 170. So the bench scoring for the Wolves is going to be there. And it's also a perfect fit for me just because obviously he's going to lack the defensive versatility that you want coming from a guard. So you have the best defensive team in the NBA. Seems like a pretty reasonable solution. You have Rudy Gobert, Cat, and Naz Reid rotating that back line. So if he gets beat, you have those guys there to help, and he can recover. He's quick enough to recover and get back to the big or whatever you need him to do. So this is I really love this play for the Wolves. I really, really do.
From a hoop head perspective, just on offense, I'm a little bit worried about his low release point. I think he had trouble with that in college a little bit. It's a lot different than playing OT Elite or playing in high school or whatever. I think he had some difficulty getting his shot off when someone's really pressing up on him. Obviously, he's good at creating space. He's a quick first step and whatnot, but he's going to have to make an adjustment. It's not to the point where I want them to mess with his jumper, but it's an eye test thing. He's a very, very, very low release point.
Yeah, I mean, it's very off the dribble to me. Like, a lot of his buckets that I saw came off of the dribble, which long-term in the NBA, I don't love, especially coming in as a rookie and trying to fill a role on a team that's already established, just went to the conference finals. But like, this is a guy that we know is gonna score in this league. Whether it's consistent or not, he's gonna have a game or two. No doubt that he drops 20 plus. No doubt. And like, he's probably only gonna play 15 to 20 minutes max a night. He's gonna be in for when Conley's not. So we know what this guy is going to give you relatively, but we're also going to be able to let him grow and develop behind one of the best old heads in the NBA right now. In Mike Conley.
Yeah, he's also a very good passer.
Yeah, he's an underrated passer. Like, everyone just sees the clips of him going crazy. And yes, those are sick and highlights are great, but you need to really turn on the tape and watch how he plays, because when he attracts the defense, he's really, really well equipped to make passes out of that. So if he's able to do that at the NBA level, this pick, I love it. I think
he has a high ceiling as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, his ceiling is probably similar to what we just saw from Maxey this last year, or Darius Garland in his All-Star season, around 20 points a game.
I don't like how you've been grouping Maxey and Garland in the same group. I do not think they're in the same group.
Play style. That's how he plays. He's quick. He's going to have to right. He's going to have to be able to use that speed to get by guys in the NBA. And it's going to be tough. It's a jump from college to the NBA just in terms of speed and athleticism that he might not be ready for initially. But that's what we see from a lot of young guards in the NBA. Like, the young, undersized guards don't typically do well in their rookie year. But as they fill out their body and get stronger and more mentally there in the NBA and learn the game, they start to figure it out. And that's why we see a ton of year 3 jumps for guards in the NBA.
I think it's going to be good practicing with that team too, just with their defensive prowess, like being on, like, whether it's blue or white or whatever, like the backup team, playing in practice against Jay McDaniels and playing against that back line. I think that's going to be good to toughen them up early too.
Yeah, no, I like everything that about this pick makes sense to me. I know the draft pick is so far in the future, no one really gives a shit about it. But like, we don't know what's going to be going on with the Wolves at that point. We don't know what's going to be going on with the Spurs. Hopefully,
Ant will probably be in Brooklyn by then.
You wish.
No, but think about it though. Seriously, like if you're going to be getting reps up every day with any team in the NBA and you're an undersized guard, I'd say the Wolves are one of the best teams to play against on a daily basis. Make other defenses look a little softer.
Yeah, like I know I'm just rambling, but man, like this fit just came out of left field, this whole deal, trade, whatever, but everything about it just seems to, in my head, really work out. I think the Conley thing people are not going to talk about enough, and it's something that I'm just going to keep going back to.
He's a fantastic vet.
He's just like one of those guys that, like, he's an old head playing on a young team that knows what he's talking about and will be able to get Rob to be that efficient scorer that we all hope he can be. Like, he will be able to do that for Rob, and I think that's the biggest thing. If you can have a vet in the locker room, that's why we see teams like the Pistons consistently in the lottery. They don't have a ton of good vets and winning basketball players on that team right now. So being able to get a guy at 8 when you just made the conference finals, and I know you had to give up assets for it, but still, getting a guy at 8 as talented as Rob Dillingham could be, I love it. I really do.
3 or 4 years down the line, I like him, Jaden McDaniels, and Nas, and whoever. I think they got a good core. And they already had a good core, obviously, but I think it was a no-brainer, a good move. It's something both of us, not even just us, I don't think anybody really saw something like that coming. But
yeah, it's one of those things that you just love to see. But
I mean, we were eyeballing that Spurs move for like the last 2 weeks, thinking it was like an absolute lock.
Yeah, we were saying he was rumored to start and go at 4, but then he slowly kept dropping. And I thought maybe he'd go to 8, and maybe they just go double guard, and one of these guys is going to be good. But they ended up doing it, but trading him away. So we'll see. Sorry for the quick cut. Just had to watch who the Wolves drafted at 23. Terrence Shannon Jr. going to the Wolves. Great pick again. 6'6" guard, athletic freak, one of the best scorers in the country. Again. They just wanted help with their offense, and that's what we're getting from the Wolves here in this draft, and I love it. I mean, like, I'll just run through his tournament stats for people that don't really watch college. 28, 40, 34, 26, 30, 29, and then 8 against Stephon Castle. So, tough, but, like, those numbers are crazy for college. Crazy. And, yes, he's going to need to develop a little bit, but, like, this is a guy that's going to score the rock.
Lefty slashes are hard to guard. At the end of the day, they're building, like, they're filling holes that they need filled. Coming off the bench, too, is going to be a lethal unit. They're going to fill it up heavy. And I think this is what Ant needs. Obviously, this isn't a 1-year fix, but down the road, if you build around this core, like, you're going to need guys who can score with you. It can't just be him doing it by himself. I think that was a big problem for them in that at the end of that series. So I think it's a good move. Solid move.
Exactly what we said. We said the biggest problem with the Wolves in the playoffs when the team really guarded and loaded up on Ant like the Mavericks did and tried to let the other guys beat them. They couldn't do it. Now getting 2 guys that can score the rock with ease, it's just perfect drafting by the Wolves. This organization has really taken a turn for the best, and I'm so excited about Terrence Shannon going there. Like, he's not going to be a day one like role player in this league. He's going to have to develop a little bit, but I mean, just the numbers alone in college. And the best part is it's efficient, 47.5% from the floor. 3-point shooting's only at 36%, but he makes free throws at 80. Like, this guy is efficient. I'm an efficiency guy. I want to see the guy put in the cup, and he's doing that. That's the biggest thing for me. And he was carrying an Illinois team that was really, really good. So let's not forget about this. Like, he was in the big moments, he showed up, except for
I was going to say, not afraid of the big lights.
No, I mean, he did go against the best defender in the class in Stephon Castle and got clamped. But, hey, we move. It's one game.
Just a quick update for you guys. I had to unpause the recording there.
Yeah.